Hello, I'm Daniela, and I work in the space of emotional mastery and relational literacy. And really, what that means is that I help people build better relationships with themselves and with the people they love. And today, I want to talk about something very special. No one really teaches us how to be in relationship. And specifically, and even more complicated, no one teaches us how to be in a romantic relationship, how to build it. And here's something worth noticing about this subject. No one needs to teach us how to fall in love. That it's like wired into us. It's biology, it's survival. It's like the oldest mechanism in the human species. We are built to be drawn towards each other. Built for that pull. We want the closeness, our chemicals in the brain. Everything works in our favor to fall in love. That happens without any instructions, completely natural. But what nobody teaches us is what comes after that, after the honeymoon. How to stay connected through real life, in a real relationship, through the conflict, through the seasons of life where, everything changes and some days are ordinary and then other days are super difficult. How to build something together that can actually hold real life through many years. Not just at the beginning, not just at the honeymoon period, but after that. Most of us are left to figure that out by ourselves. Almost all of us are left to figure that out as we go. And most of us improvise with one of the most important relationships that shapes our whole entire lives. The result is the millions of people who genuinely love each other and want to be together are still struggling. Not because they don't care, not because they don't love each other, maybe not even because something is wrong, simply because no one gave them the tools. No one taught us how to be in relationship. They're navigating conflict without a shared language, making assumptions where they needed to have real, honest conversations. And without noticing, drifting apart slowly and quietly, without either of them fully understanding why. Hoping for love to do all that work, which is actually a skill, it's not healthy for the relationship because love is not enough. And in this series, we're going to be talking about that. This series is 10 lessons on what it actually takes to build a conscious relationship, hoping that love will do the work that really only a skill can do. And love is not enough. In this series, we're going to be talking exactly about that. 10 lessons on what it actually takes to build a conscious partnership. Not theory, real tools. And not advice, not surface level advice, not tips, but really understanding what it takes to build a life together in an intimate relationship. Each lesson takes one idea that shapes the quality of the relationship, and it goes into it like honestly and practically. At least that's my intention. We're going to talk about emotional reactivity, nervous system regulation, childhood patterns, conflict, rituals, intimacy, and most of the conversations that couples never have. Hopefully, you will find that each lesson stands on its own and that together they form a complete map of what conscious love actually requires of us. And before we even begin, I want to offer one idea that changed how I personally understand relationships and how I understand myself inside the relationships. You're not in the relationship the way you are in a room, a fixed structure that you either fit in it or you don't. In a relationship, you're in a field, a shared field, a living system that responds to everything that both of you bring into it. So think about it like in the simplest terms. If you have one element in a biological system, you change one cell and the whole system changes. You shift a cable in a bridge and the whole bridge needs to reorganize itself. So human relationships work pretty much the same way. The way that you carry yourself internally, your patterns, your emotional habits, your capacity for presence or reactivity, they become that invisible architecture of how you show love, or how you stand in love. So when you shift, the whole field shifts. When you grow, the relationship feels it before either of you even see it or name it. And this really means two things. First, change is always possible because the field, it's never fixed. It's a continuum that changes the whole time. And second, when you do your inner work, it's not selfish. It's one of the most loving and most beautiful things you can do for the other person because you're building a life with that person. And I also want to talk about something that a lot of people get turned off by it. It's about intentionality, because sometimes when people hear conscious relationship, intentional relationship, immediately their faces change, and they say, no, this sounds like work. This sounds like control. This sounds like discipline, and you're going to take the romance out of everything. And I want to speak to this because initially I felt very much like it, so I understand it. What I want to explain today is that intentionality, it's really not the opposite of love. It's what love looks like when it actually matures. Think of this as a river. It flows freely, and it has movement, and it has wave, and it has current. It's filled with life. But it falls precisely because it has banks. The banks are not the limits. The banks are what tells the river how to flow, the direction, the depth, the momentum. Without them, the water doesn't really flow freely. It could become stagnant, a swamp, a lake. The structure that makes it flow are the banks themselves. That's what makes the water and the energy flow beautifully. So a conscious relationship works the same way. The rituals you protect, the conversations you're willing to have, even if they're difficult, the shared vision you keep returning to as a couple, those are the banks. They're not constraints. They give you somewhere to go to. They're really what allows love and the relationship to keep moving, to keep happening, to keep finding its way back to each other in every season of life. The couples who feel the most alive in their relationships are the ones that never left things to chance. They are the ones that kept choosing each other in the small daily moments, in the hard conversations, in the quiet act of showing up with purpose. And that is not control. That is absolute devotion. Devotion to your partner and devotion to your relationship. So this series, hopefully you will see, is based on intentionality, seen as devotion, and in the premise that love is beautiful, but it's really not enough. We need the skills. So this series is for couples who love each other deeply, but they want more than luck, who sense that something deeper is possible and available for them in this relationship. And they want the tools to be able to get there, to go deeper, higher. So this series is for couples who love each other and want more than just luck, who sense that something deeper is possible for them and available for them in the relationship, and want the tools to be able to reach that, who are willing to learn and show up for each other. If that is you, if that is what you're yearning for, hopefully you're in the right place. Hopefully. I didn't build this series as a professional project. I built it because of the people that I love in my life and what I actually could not give them, or what I couldn't receive from them, because none of us at that time had been taught how to be in relationship. I was married for 25 years to someone I loved deeply. There was real goodness in both of us, and we had a beautiful family, but we still couldn't hold the relationship through everything it asked from us in the moments that it got difficult. Nobody taught us how to. We didn't have the tools. We didn't have a shared language. And later in life, I experienced a different kind of love, one with more awareness, more intention, more depth. And I practiced everything that I teach now. And I still lost that relationship because I was carrying a belief that I had never fully examined. That love, when it's real, it should somehow make everything in the relationship perfect. And that belief cost me the relationship that I wanted the most. The Becoming Us series is the teaching that I wish I would have had when I really needed it. And every lesson here comes from that place. I offer it freely because I believe couples who have this understanding have the capacity to build something different, healthier partnerships, healthier families, and ultimately a more conscious and beautiful and connected world. And really, that is not abstract for me. This is the entire reason why I'm here. Seeker Circle is a community that lives for this. Everything here is freely available. I am super glad you're here, and I truly hope this serves you. If you want to go deeper into this work, you'll find more lessons here in the Seeker Circle channel and more ways to explore all of this in real life. I'm going to leave all the descriptions below, and I'm going to leave the order of the lessons. As I said, you can see them in sequence, or you can see the ones that call you the most. Again, thank you for being here. If you care to, subscribe to the channel, like the lesson, and please move on to lesson 1. Thank you.